The upcoming Metal Heroes revival just dropped a ton of new information, and it's time to talk about it. Hello everyone, it's thomasjujube, and make sure you let me know your thoughts on Project Red / Gavan Infinity down in the comment section. Is the new information getting you more excited? Are you less excited? Is your opinions not changed? Will you be buying the toys? Be sure to let me know all of that down below in the comment section. We just got our press conference information earlier this week. I was a bit busy, so I wasn't able to live stream or give you a super early idea or, discussion on what happened. So I'm a little late, but I figured I should talk about it since I haven't really done a ton of Project Red discussion. I will be doing that once it drops, once the show itself drops. But here's our little bit of, well, not a little bit, we got a ton of information. The big thing is that they confirmed with all of this that Gavan Infinity is going to be a multiverse show. There are 3 different Earths with funky little names, and they've split the cast up into those 3 different Earths. So first off, we have Earth Alpha 0073. I don't know if the numbers are references to anything. I checked, at least, 0073 is the only one I would have figured, like a 1973 release date, but Gavan was in the 80s, so I'm not sure what the 73 is supposed to be referencing. Anyways, Gavan Infinity, we now have a name for him in a civilian form, Reiji Doki. He is an investigator from the Documents Division of the Galactic Federal Police's Earth Branch. After being exposed to a form of Emorgi, that's what that is, he gained the ability to travel dimensions and pursue Emorgear criminals with other Gavan across the multiverse. And he transforms using the Emorgear Gekido, which means angry. So he sounds like a Sentai Red. He sounds, like a normal kind of underdog, funny, cool guy Sentai Red. He even dresses like a Sentai Red. I do really like his drip. And he's got a couple of friends in Earth Alpha, which is a bit of the interesting thing with this show in general. Despite having Sentai-ish elements, it kind of gives Ultraman vibes, because there's a huge team with at least Gavan Infinity. So alongside him, we've got Colonel Daisuke Date, who's Reiji's police academy classmate and is the head of the Documents Division. He always speaks and acts calmly, but he's unable to leave the Cosmo Gavarian, that's their ship. He's unable to get off of it on trips to other universes, unlike Reiji. So there's a bit of I like going to other worlds, but I can't get off the ship to explore them kind of thing. Another member of the division is Artificial General Intelligence, aka Agi. She can transform into particles and go anywhere, so presumably she will be going into the other multiverses with Reiji. They also mentioned she can change costumes, so we're going to be getting them too, alongside Zets, I guess. And I think it was mentioned that the Colonel made her. I can't remember. We also have Rikia Wanabuchi and Patrun. They are a duo of elite investigators from the 1st Investigative Division of the Galactic Federal Police's Earth Branch. Very long names. They're classmates of Reiji and the Colonel from the police academy, but they seem to look down on them now because they work at the Documents Division, but they don't know that they're actually a Gavan division. And then Patrun is an alien from planet Hyakuto and is voiced by Dio. I don't understand, these feel like very random additional characters. The other two are the main girl, main guy to go with Gavan. These two feel like a random comic relief, but they're also supposed to be elite investigators. So I'm getting 2 different vibes from them, and I'm interested to see what role they'll play, but I'm not, other than hearing Dio play a funny robot, that'll be fun. So then we have Earth Lambda 8018. This Earth is home to Gavan Bushido, who is named Setsuna Aikokuin. It's very, yeah. He's the captain of the special forces of the Public Order Maintenance Headquarters. He's an artificial human created for war that has lived for thousands of years. He's interested in human emotions but can only emulate them, so he cannot cry. but he transforms using the Emor gear Hisu, which means sad. So he feels like a normal like robot that wants to learn emotions kind of character, but they've made him like, I mean, we can see from the suit, his design, he's like a samurai kind of character. So I think that's a fun twist on that. Another member of Earth Lambda is Rui Amo. She is the head of the Public Order Maintenance Headquarters, so she's Setsuna's superior. And she apparently looks like a woman from another planet who gave Setsuna his name. So they probably share the same actor in flashbacks. And they've said that the two of them have like a kind of brother-sister vibe, or they're like very trusting of each other. Like they're a duo in this world. She's very pretty. I'm looking forward to seeing her. I like these two of them. The two of them. I'm getting a little flustered. I'm sorry. Lastly, we have Earth Iota 5109, home of Gavan Luminous. So there's two characters in this Earth. One of them is Kiki EY. She works in the forensics department, excels in deductive and analytical skills despite her otaku-like nature, and she can understand the Emor gear, which is pretty funny. Alongside her is Kotobuki Takanari, who is Kiki's investigation partner, but they've also been friends since high school, and she's the straight woman to Kiki's laid-back attitude. Now, the weird thing with these, not the weird thing, there's a thing with these two. In the trailer, they showed the Gavins first. For Luminous, they showed the girls at once. Both of them are shown together. And then we see the side casts later. But then no one from Iota, because they already showed Kotobuki earlier. So why is she shown with Luminous? Because presumably Kiki's Luminous. At the press conference, they had a picture of all three main Gavins, or main characters, and Kiki's part of them. Kotobuki's not. But she's in the announcement in the trailer part with Kiki. And when they teased the press conference leading up to it, they released little posters of the three Gavin in civilian form, but Kotobuki's with Kiki. Like, that's clearly, now that we've seen all the cast, that's clearly the two of them. And if you go back to our teaser posters of all the Gavin, it kind of looks like Luminous is like two hands, like crossed over each other. I'm doing the pose, like I'm not just going to put a picture on the screen. So right now, and I'm agreeing with this, there's a theory that the Emor gear Kanki, which is used, Joy, which is going to be used to transform into Gavan Luminous, Kiki is not the only one who's going to be using that. We don't know to what extent, but Kotobuki probably plays a part into Luminous in a way. And we don't know if they're both Luminous at once, like Kamen Rider Double, if they're just going to share the gun. So sometimes Kiki's Luminous, sometimes Kotobuki's Luminous. There's definitely something going on. Make sure you let me know what you think is going on with them. Maybe Kiki is just Luminous, and they're just doing weird things with Kotobuki because she's more relevant to Kiki's character than the other partners are to their main Gavin. We will see. We also got some other cast. The Gavarian trigger and the Cosmo Gavarian, so the ship and the gun, all the same sound, of course, is going to be voiced by Toshihiko Seki, who is Momotaros. It was only a matter of time until he voiced an entire toy line system. So, there we go. Of course, it's the first Project Red one. And then we've also got the Emor gear have voices. Ayako Kawasumi, who apparently voices Saber from Fate. So that's kind of I think that's a big deal. That she's just the voice of these little things. Now we also have, I've saved this guy for last. We have Karo Com Vigilis. Vigiles? That's not right. Vigilas. This guy. Vigelus is probably the Japanese. I don't know. So I bring this guy up last because he's shown in the trailer last. He wasn't at the press conference. And I wish he was because he's not slotted into an Earth, which is weird. Because he's got Rui's outfit. So you would have thought he would have been part of Earth Lambda. But he's the head of the security bureau of the Galactic Federal Police's Earth branch. So he's the head of a whole different thing. But apparently he's also said to have been involved in the founding of the Documents Division, which sounds like he's part of Earth Alpha. But then why does Rui have the outfit from a different Earth? The interesting thing with this as well is that I'm really curious to see what the flow of the show is, because this is not Super Sentai, obviously. Like, this is not Zenkaiger, where we are expecting to see all 5 Zenkaiger every episode. The Sentai still treats its characters, like all of them, as normal cast members. Here it feels like we've got 3 separate casts all in one show, because they're all in different dimensions. I mean, I'm 100% not expecting Bushido and Luminous to not appear in episode 1. But even if they go 1, 2, 3, is Bushido going to become a recurring character after episode 2? Do we go long stretches of time before Bushido and Rui appear again because Gavan Infinity goes back to their world? Same with Luminous. Do we just get episodes where we see what's happening in Earth Lambda and Earth Iota on their own without anyone else from it? Do we even get Bushido and Luminous interacting with each other individually, because we don't know if they can travel Earths right now, or multiverse Earths? Another thing is that the head writer is Atsuhira Tomioka, who is the head writer of Boom Boonjer. So check out my Boom Boonjer review if you want to hear my thoughts on that show. But say it bluntly, I like Boom Boonjer, and Boom Boonjer is very episodic in a good way. So I wonder if, not to say, when I say episodic, I never mean episodic in a bad way, but I just using that to emphasize, like, I think I like Boom Boonjer. So I wonder if this will be like that episodic, where maybe you can have bottle episodes of, like, here's what Bushido's up to for a week, here's what Luminous is up to for a week. If we do that, that's really interesting. I do really like that, and that would explain why the cast is so big and diverse on each Earth, because they are treating each one like their own individual show that kind of combines sometimes. Maybe in the future we get, when the stakes get higher, they're always all together, which would be kind of interesting. Speaking of the stakes getting higher, we have no word on a villain faction besides the Emorgear criminals. So episodic monsters of the week. We have nothing besides that, which is very interesting, because every press conference not every, I guess. This is like when Ryder sometimes does a season press conference and there's no villain faction, or at least no leader in charge of the villain faction. But there's still, like, Sentai always has a villain faction, always announces a couple of villains, actors. We don't even have, like, a faction here. These are just random monsters across the multiverse. So it has me a little curious / worried about what the through line of this show is going to be if there's no real overarching kind of story to start with. Of course, in episode 1, maybe they'll introduce a villain faction, and bam, my worry's gone. We do see a brief tease of a damaged Gavan. They don't explain what that is at all. I haven't seen it addressed officially anywhere else. I mean, obviously, it's not an accent that's in there, but I'm just saying, like, we don't know what this thing is. There's rumors of a dark Gavan, so maybe that's what this is. This is our dark Gavan tease, and he'll end up becoming a main threat. We also got a theme song, Love is the Strongest by Main. I think they played it at the press conference, but I didn't watch the press conference, so I'm not going to be hearing it until the show comes out. But Main, is that how you say her name? I apologize if that's not how you say her name. She did the inserts for Forze, and she was part of the inserts for Forze, so I like those. So I look forward to that song. And the last thing, not that they revealed new toys at the press conference, but I also haven't really talked about the look of the show so far. And I will say the main 3 suits I really like them. I don't know which one I like the most, honestly. Gavan obviously is red, so he's got a bit of bias for me, but I think Bushido's pretty cool. I think Bushido, I would say, is my least favorite, but like not in a bad way, because I really like Luminous. Luminous is a really nice gold kind of color, and I like gold suits. So I like all three of them. That's kind of the extent of the aesthetics I like. I do not like the gun, like, almost at all. It does not look good to me. It clearly looks like a robot folded up, and it's just big and clunky. And the Emmer gears are so bizarre. I've seen a lot of hate for them because they look like Gochizo 2. I'm 100% sure these things only have weird faces on them because of the success of the Gochizo, and they need to capitalize on something successful for their first round of Project Red. That's fine. But I just think the way they integrate into the gun is so dumb. Like, you open the back of the gun and stick this thing in and close it. Like, it doesn't feel, like, natural at all. Like, there's no aesthetic to this at all. It's batteries in a gun. The batteries have faces. The gun does not open in a way that's interesting. The battery is not incorporated in a way that's interesting. It just feels weird and generic to me. And then the robot itself is fine. I like transforming robots, so it's not like, you know, I have a little bias with those. But, you know, it does look kind of generic, kind of boring. There's no pop or uniqueness to it. I am curious, actually. We don't know if Bushido and Luminous are going to be piloting this thing at all. That is something I'm interested in, because I feel like that would be very interesting if they don't. Someone's going to ask, are you buying the Gavan toys? No, I don't really like these things. The only things that I really do like with them is the sidearms. The Gavarian trigger, sorry, that's the main weapon. The Gavarian saber, Gavarian drill, Gavarian crane, and Gavarian laser. Not because they look amazing, but because I think it's really interesting that this toy line's weapon component is taking notes from from gozyuger, which is a little weird because it means we're having like almost the same toy line back to back. The changer is now the mecha. The other weapons are now the extra Zords that attach. The head even changes based on different gimmicks that are unique to the weapons. Like, that's just the gozyuger toy line. I don't have a problem with it because I like the gozyuger toy line, and I like it here. I just think the gozyuger toy line in most aspects looks better and more interesting. However, here, I like that the weapons double both as weapons and as little devices. Like, they've shown in a bunch of the trailers like a spaceship or whatever. I think that's cooler because the gozyuger weapons are just weapons that vaguely look like animals. Not vaguely, they are clearly animals, but they don't have like an animal mode. It's just like, this gun has a lion on it. This is a sword that's also a spaceship that incorporates the gimmick that then works with the robot. I think that's cool. I do like that. We also have seen, I think the laser, we've seen Luminous using that, and that means that the others are going to be using those weapons, which is cool. I wonder if that's going to be their mecha forms. Like, is Luminous going to use the laser robot mode or something like that? So Super Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity drops February 15th in Japan, aka February 14th for me in the United States. I will be covering episode 1 in short and long review formats. Probably will cover the rest of the show in short review formats, so make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss that. Let me know what you think of Gavan Infinity and everything else coming up for it, and I hope to see you next time.